It's a really nice day, so decided to go for a walk in the park, and everything's starting to bud. There are even some flowers. So spring is here. So I have to keep that in mind to remember to get outside when I can. And I'm on day 2 of ketogenic, even though I've been doing it for a few more days than that. Yesterday was the first day that I was really able to stay in my targets of fat and protein and carbs. And I'm doing good so far today too. And I weighed myself today and I'm 117, which is down 2 pounds from 119. So that is a bit of evidence that this might help for some fat loss. Not saying I'm fat, I'm not fat, but it's good to cleanse and get rid of some of the old fat every now and then, because I'm not going to stick to this ketogenic thing forever. Maybe a month, maybe up until my next crisis, maybe only a couple more days, I don't know. And that looks so magical. And it feels kind of like insight is coming back a bit. I wasn't sure if it would, being on 50 milligrams of quetiapine a day, but I'm starting to write down some insights. So that could be a sign of dopamine getting higher. And I emailed Peter Smith to do another consultation with him to talk about his suicide remedy program, or anti-suicide it should be, really. Remedies to help when this switch happens in my brain that makes me feel like I want to harm myself or end my life. And the last time it happened, it just felt like I was ending my life in my brain, but I was just laying there and I was fully aware of that. But it was just agonizing. And then I had to go back on meds, and it was such a long, hard journey. So I'm going to be planned better and prepared better this time. And I also asked him in the email, since my cycle of 8.5 months is very predictable, if I could start tapering off the antidepressant stuff that sort of pushes me towards mania a month before the crisis, and maybe if that lowers the dopamine, because in the past I haven't been on these remedies and it just seems to naturally get higher and higher, and then gets to a point where it can't handle it anymore and then dies away in the crisis. So I'm wondering if, since I'm naturally going to be higher and higher in dopamine, I can stop taking the things that help to create dopamine and almost put a lid on it, even more so. Maybe doing that will prevent a crisis. I don't know, but I'm still planning for the crisis to happen at 8.5 months. And then asking him about some of the doses of a few of the remedies like inositol and uridine. Because I got some uridine, but only enough for like 2 days. I pretty much have to eat the whole bottle. So I'm going to consult with him on a bunch of different stuff, hopefully in the next week or so. And then once I know what to order, I'll order all my supplements, wait for a good coupon on VitaCost. I looked, and some of the things are cheaper on nootropicsdepot.com. Like the uridine, I could have got a lot more powder for $16.99. Would have been with shipping too, but I would have got pretty much double for the same price, because the whole bottle of uridine that I got is 15 grams, and I could have got 30 grams for the same price. So that's okay. It's a learning experience. And so I'm working on that. and I kind of mapped some of them out in mind maps on an app called Simple Mind. Also mapping out what to do on a daily basis, which seems silly, but it's sort of, if it's nice outside, get outside. If it's raining, do inside stuff. So I saw it was nice outside, so here I am outside. If it was raining, I might be inside making a song. I kind of want to try to compose a nice song to go with the video footage I put together from California. And I'm just learning and doing a lot of different stuff. Practicing being in the present moment again. I feel like when I'm not in the present moment, I'm more focused on the little things that I need to buy and get. But when I'm present, I'm enjoying the now. It smells kind of skunky in here, and oh, you can't really see on this, but there's a ton of skunk cabbage down there. All that yellow right in the middle. So yeah, I'm gonna try and slow down mania with supplements, even though I don't feel manic, but starting to write insights down is a sign that my brain is starting to go into that state, that hyper-perceptive, sensitive, insightful state, which eventually implodes upon itself. And something I wrote down from the solar revolution, and I want to watch it again and take some notes on it, because there's this one part where it really describes the whole process of brain growth in a really cool way, when it comes to the energetics as well as the physical changes in the brain cells. But I wrote down something that they said in the movie, which was that tranquilizers allow only the strongest stimuli to reach our conscious perception. And I'm on tranquilizers right now. I'm on quetiapine. So what that says to me and means to me is that by taking the tranquilizers, the strongest stimuli, which is consensus reality, only that gets through, and not this other stuff that I can become sensitive to. And that could be a good thing to a certain extent, but it'd be lovely to live in a way or a space or a place that was congruent with sensitivity and being really perceptive. Wow, that is a lot of skunk cabbage, look. I think the antipsychotics block the sensitivity to the oneness of everything and help one to perceive based on the illusion of separateness again, which is a lot more comfortable and way less vulnerable. And one thing I wrote down was something about this 8.5 month cycle that I seem to be experiencing. And what I'm wondering about it is, since 8.5 months is the time to birth a human being, a new human being, through a pregnant mother, I wonder if I'm caught in this birthing cycle of trying to birth a new human being within myself. Like it starts from zero after the crisis and then builds up and tries to birth this new human being, but it's not possible. Conditions are not right, or I've done something wrong, or I'm not doing the right thing, or whatever. And then it just sort of dies. And then the cycle happens again, trying to birth this new human being. But also, each new human being that's born is a new earth. So 8.5 months is the time it takes to birth a whole new earth, a whole new universe, a whole new cosmos. So I think this cosmic cycle is happening within me without giving birth or being in a womb, but in a way this earth is a womb for birthing a new human being. And I don't know if it takes 8.5 months, but it seems that after 8.5 months it starts again. So this whole 8.5 thing is also happening in my mind or in my being or something, and I really don't know if that's true. And it took me 8.5 months to get to some safety, some sense of safety after I had something happen that made me feel unsafe. So it's like after that 8.5 months, I go back to feeling unsafe. I really don't know what it's all about, but I'm making guesses here and not wanting to go back to the old stuff I said, though, that's for sure. So what if I don't build up those visions? And I wrote down, prepare for a crisis, just enjoy, work, be simple, be outside in nature and play. So not worrying about the visions, I think, could be important. Being outside in nature and playing. I'm feeling like it's less important to have a vision, sort of pattern to live up to, and more important to have vision or be able to see in the moment and dropping having a vision and a pattern. Because the pattern could possibly blind to the actuality of things not even being close to that. And then living in ideas as opposed to meeting the moment as it is. I say this now, but I'll probably screw it up. And something that seems pertinent is this one consciousness thing. There's no I, there's no me, there's no ego, there's no self. I'd like to say that's how I experience things, but I really don't know. And that's part of when I go into that visionary state, I go further into no selfhood, but I'm in a situation that requires a self to affirm how others around me experience me and life. So I think it's really important to get out of that. The light of the water is reflecting off the bottom of the branches. Can't really see that good in video, but it looks pretty magical. No big deal, you say, right?